Hello, everybody. I'm SJM. This is episode 14 of the Casual Exile. I have done a major overhaul on the character. I'm not sure if it was the correct thing to do or not, but I've done it. Survivability was starting to go down there in the high yellow and the low red tier maps, so I decided to try and switch over to a more damaged based variation. So I'll just take a look here at our passive tree, and you can see I've now gotten a couple of the expensive jewels. I did get my Glorious Vanity in, which gives me the Corrupted Soul Keystone. And that gives me a ton of extra energy shield, although since I did the switch over, I did lose almost 1,000 life as well. So I went from like 4,800 life down to 39, and then that also cost me quite a bit of energy shield, like another 400 energy shield on top of that, switching all of my gear over to get my resist back up and my stats as well. So that's been that. So health went down overall, but effective health pool did go up quite a bit. And because we're leeching both energy shield and life, so with life leech I've got on my amulet here, which I switched over a little bit, but I still got the 0.4% leeched as life. And then on my new ring here, I did get life gained for each enemy hit by our spells, so that'll help when we're in the thick of it with a whole bunch of enemies, whereas this one will help more so when we're in a boss fight or against singular tough enemies. This particular one with the 3960 number on it actually gave me a couple of nice little bonuses here. So this one here gave me some increased spell damage. And then down at the bottom here, this notable gave me 33 spell damage and 43 crit strike chance. And then along the way to get there, we're also pretty handy as well. So cold resistance, fire resistance ×2, and then some attack speed, but that was just, 1 point we had to sacrifice to get to those 4 good ones down there. There's another good one here. No. There was another good one. Oh, maybe I'm crazy. Yes, this one here. But then that would require getting this blank one here, and then 1% dodge is probably not worth, doing 3 points just to get to that one there, which is a little bit less overall than this guy there. Then, of course, our intuitive leap up here allows us to grab the extra herald effect here. Some more spell damage and mana, which doesn't really count, although it did overall increase our actual mana by a couple of points, but increasing mana doesn't do much because of all the reservation. And I could probably drop this point here, which I totally forgot all about. And then I grabbed this one here with a little extra area and stuff. And then we took out all of the block nodes, obviously, because we're not using the shield anymore. And went back into some crit. So this notable here with quite a bit of crit on it. And then there's some more over here. I forget exactly where they are, but we'll be getting to those later. I decided to go for this one instead of the other one, just because it gave me those resists, which kind of got me to where I needed to be to cap out, because I'm not, too much overcapped there. Lost about 17%-ish on my chaos resistance, but that's not too bad overall. Would hurt in some situations for sure, but in the grand scheme of things, not too horrible, really. We picked up the some cluster jewels, so I got the Thermophage, but I don't have the Seal Mender one. The Seal Mender is super expensive, and this cluster jewel I just kind of bought the base level one and re-rolled it and then chaos spammed on it, which in hindsight was a bad thing to do because I spent almost 50 chaos before I got to this quote-unquote acceptable one. I thought it was acceptable because it had this one with some extra spell block on it, but that was when I was still using the shield. But it did get me the important one for the spell energy shield leech there. And then as well I picked up this small medium cluster jewel. Wasn't too expensive. But it got us the special reserve and spiked concoction, so that's giving us some increased damage and some regeneration during during flask effects, and then this alchemist genius, which helps us gain back our flasks while we have a flask effect going, and then some extra cast speed and stuff while we're casting away. And then I do have a second medium cluster to go in over there because I dropped a Herald cluster jewel. However, I don't have the points to get it in there yet, so I'm just trying to level up there. So I've got the Empowered Envoy, which is pretty good, increasing the damage dealt by our Herald of Ash explosions and the increased effect of the Herald of Ash, and then the 25% increased LE damage on the Agent of Destruction is pretty good there as well. The one other thing, I grabbed a cheap jewel up there with it had the fire damage, the life, and the other stuff which didn't matter at all. And then I had a harvest craft which put an implicit on it, and I got an actually useful one out of it, so I was happy about that. 20% increased recovery per second from life leech, so it doesn't increase the amount of life leech, but it increases the speed that it goes at, if I remember correctly. You can let me know if I'm wrong about that down below. And then the last thing we did is when I got that new amulet, I did anoint it with the Light Eater, which gives us more energy shield leech. So we've got 2 sources of life leech and 2 sources of spell damage leech to hopefully keep us topped off while we're in the heat of battle and we're not blocking anything anymore. So we're definitely taking a lot more increased damage. I did run 2 maps since then, and I can definitely tell the survivability has gone right back down into the gutter. So we got to survive more on tactical play and killing things before they see us, rather than being able to go in and rely on that 60 to 70% block chance that we had with the block stuff going on. I did just finished another crucible, so we got all of the, well, not all of the crucibles, but a few of the crucibles finished off here in Glenat Cairns. So I started off with getting the extra chances for Legion encounters, although I didn't really notice that effect too much because I didn't see any Legions since I got those first 2 points. Then the next ones I went into with the temple points. So just being able to develop a good temple, I think that'll be a good generator of some money because I'm not the advanced enough to be going and double corrupting items because I just don't have the money to buy the items to try and double corrupt them, or the gems and such like that. Also, speaking of gems, I did take a big hit on my offense with all of my gems because we leveled them all up to 20, and then from there I qualitied them up to 20, and then that of course reset them back down to level 1. So we're kind of working our way back up on the damage there. So as you can see, our Blade Blast is at a lowly level 15. So where overall in the transition there, I think I'm about even from where I started with a level 20 Blade Blast. But so when we get that leveled back up to level 20 again, and possibly if we get the money to buy the expensive level 21 Blade Blast, level 21-20, then maybe we can get a little bit extra points on there. I grabbed this offhand there. Kind kind of didn't realize initially that the percent increased physical damage isn't helping my spells. It only helps the base damage on the weapon, but I did get the +1 to socketed gems so that all of the buffs that I have on there, so my Ash, Zealotry, and Herald will be able to go up to level 21 eventually. And it was pretty cheap. It was only 20 chaos for this guy, but we got a damage boost with the 25% fizz damage, and then I crafted on the extra spell damage for getting their damage up there. Replaced my gloves there from the unique ones that I had. So lost some energy shield and some life, but I went from level 18 faster casting up to level 20, as well as gained the 13% increased cast speed. So that kind of sped up our ability to be able to cast our combos a little bit faster there. And of course we gained some of the resistances that I lost from switching out some of the other stuff, because my ring and my amulet there had quite a bit, and my shield had quite a bit of resistances on it that I lost. Grabbed a 6th link, cheap chest piece here just to go get up to a 6th link. This guy was about 30 chaos, so all in all we are into like sort of mid-tier gear, so nowhere near top tier gear by any stretch of the imagination. So be looking to farm up a whole bunch of currency with this setup there now. Definitely need to get a better belt. Don't know if I can really do better on the boots or not, but maybe getting something with some strength and or dexterity on it, because I was kind of limited. Like my intelligence is way up there, but I'm kind of limited on my strength and dex because some of my gems are getting into that zone where I can't use them if I level them up again. I'm keeping my Blade Fall at level 1 now, just for mana considerations, especially because I lost the reduced reservation that I had on the shield there, so we're down to 300 mana. So just keeping that at level 1 helps with the mana, and it's just mostly a vehicle for putting blades on the ground for us to blow up with the Blade Blast. So we do got another Conqueror all set to go, and we'll add on a little bit of extra stuff there to her just to make her good. And because it's a yellow tier, we may as well do temples, sure, or incursion, I guess, because I've got the incursion mods running hot now, so that'll be interesting go around. So we'll definitely be going a little bit slower than I was before, so you'll just have to bear with me on that. And you'll see our health and energy shields will definitely start bobbing up and down quite a bit. So Blade Fall by itself, even at level 1, still does clear out a lot of the white packs, but definitely when you get into the blue packs and stuff, we do need the blast to be triggered off, and the timing is a little bit off sometimes as well, because for whatever reason I'll cast and then I won't get the Blade Blast portion of it, so I've kind of got to wait an extra half a second after casting the Blade Fall to get the Blade Blast triggered off correctly. Strong boxes or currency? I think I'd rather have the currency, so we'll change that one around. a couple of monsters somewhere. There they are. And yes, since I spent about 90% of my currency, I'm back to doing the what is it? Chaos recipe again. I didn't realize that was a Harby guy. So on to Veritania. This will probably be a little bit of a crapshoot. She hits me, I'll die. If I don't get hit, then I'll survive and... I didn't make out too bad on that one. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Go on and do our Cassia. Well, let's go down and do this guy. Oh, success from the other side. What the heck? Resist LA damage, I guess, was what his deal was. It's kind of wrecking me there for a little bit. Big money. Ball Blade Vortex. Oh, I totally forgot about that. That Blade Vortex is up to level 20, so we gotta take that out and try and sell her. Then I can load up this one. Same with that Fireball. That Righteous Fire is done now. My Enhance is coming along a little bit. And the High Impact Mine. Wait, which weapon set am I on here? I can't tell. Alright. And do a blight. Oh yeah, this is not a good setup. Oh yeah, and since I did my new setup, I switched off the cast without moving, so I'm gonna have to reset that back up here. Get out some more duders. Alright. Managed to make out alright. No more room for anything.
I must have time to gather my will.
Hello.
So that, that.
Keep your eyes sharp.
So my Baritania stuff is here, right? Yeah. Belt, and that I don't need either.
Exile. Be careful.
And go back and grab the rest of the rewards and finish off this map. Nothing and nothing, eh? Lovely. Well, at least the overall reward dropped me a chaos. Yeah, and then the other thing is that I really can't do the league mechanic anymore. The ultimatums, they're always killing me now. In the upper tier yellow maps and into the red maps. So I can't imagine ever doing any of those anymore. Unless it starts off with something like 1 or 2 rounds, I'm pretty sure I'm okay on, but anything past 4 or 5 rounds, it's just becomes way too much for this, for my playing skill anyways. And this build is generally not good for ultimatums in the first place, just because the crowd control on it is non-existent. And in the ultimatums, things are always spawning right on top of you, and if they're not spawning right on top of you, then they've got, you know, incredible speed, and they're on top of you before you can do anything about it.
Must have time to gather my will. My mana is spent.
Contains a valuable item.
Time to go.
Cast your spell, please. I think I got stun locked there for a second or two. Jeez, can you target the stone of passage, please? Oh, I am not a very good pointer.
Good job.
How many? 4, so I've missed one incursion somewhere. I'll have to go and track her down.
Just in time.
There she is.
Ah, there you are. Ready to revisit the past. The more you kill, the more you change your mind. And the closer we get to finding the time in your present day. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh my god, I picked it up on the first try. That's amazing. Oh, come on. You can't jump across that?
Good job, Exile.
Well, that was a map, as I mentioned there before. Damage isn't quite there yet because we got to get our gems leveled back up again, but I think that'll kind of work itself out in the end. I'll work on getting some currency. Got to get that offhand. I think I need to just get a better offhand, which will help. And then try and find a little bit more life on there, which will help with survivability overall. So getting a better belt, better chest piece there. Most of the other major pieces are in place, so it's not too bad in that regard there. And yeah, just keeping our fingers crossed that, you know, and if we get some lucky drops there, also getting the better cluster jewels there with the seal mender on there to improve the speed on which we get more blades falling, and then just getting more levels so that we have the points to get our herald gem socketed in and all of that good stuff there. So that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. Oh yeah, still got one more trial to find. Probably spam some of my offerings in the map thing to get it, and then we'll go and get our major crit node there, but I'm still got a fairly low strength there, so it's not going to be adding a whole lot. Well, it'll add quite a bit, so 230% extra crit chance, which will bring us, from that 33-ish% there, probably bring us up close to 66%, I think, when we add in this node there, if my guess is correct. I could be way off. That could bring us a lot higher, or it could only bring us up to 50%. Who knows? I don't. Somebody might. But that is it for this episode. I will appreciate you all, and we will see you in the next one.